Adam Sandler, a man we've all heard of, and many of us remember for starring and producing some of the best movies to ever hit theaters, might have some secrets to success. We all know of or have met that one person who is seemingly successful at everything they try. From the outside looking in, there is really seemingly no rhyme or reason why these people always seem to be successful in their endeavors. But it's human nature for people to want to bring close and befriend people that are successful in life. Adam Sandler was no different. As history repeats itself, Adam was that guy, and he found himself surrounded by a posse of merry men. And they stuck like glue to Adam's success, leaving them with six-figure bank accounts and great flourishing careers. Kinda. Of course, Adam did choose these friends as well. But was it all on purpose for his success? Adam met his crew pretty early on in life, meeting all of them between the ages of around 17 and 27 years old. That's pretty normal if you ask me. Personally, I met most of my close friends I have now around 8 or 9 years ago, and I'm 27, so that seems about right on par. But yeah, in 27 years old, my age, Adam basically found his entire crew, and in 1994, he pretty much solidified all of the main cast for all of his movies. Dude wasn't looking to make more friends. Disney Princess Cup. There was a couple friends Adam did bring on later on in life, later in his career, but that friends list was super exclusive. Adam and his ragtag group of friends took Hollywood by storm. It was just a group of comedies, as Adam and his friends just took turns producing and writing and playing the roles themselves, guaranteeing you that classic feel you're used to seeing every time you throw in an Adam Sandler flick.
We just all kind of had the same sensibility, and then, Sandler took off like a skyrocket and kicked the door open, and we all snuck in. And we're still here.
As you can tell, this wasn't a one-way friendship Adam had with his friends, though. Adam had the opportunity to carefully select each and every single one of the people that he worked with, and the fact that he did this gets more apparent as the years go by. There is, of course, haters out there that swear up and down that Adam Sandler's movies, they're not funny. Since day one, critics have always been criticizing Adam's choice in comedy style, but it's clear that these critics actually didn't share the popular opinion. The critics weren't completely wrong, though. They saw Adam without all the people around him, and they judged his performances on just them alone. Adam even knew he wasn't the best when he was just performing alone. That's why he knew he needed to bring on and formulate the exact team to make this kind of perfect atmosphere for his viewers to know to expect every time they watch his movies. This led to everyone around Adam finding success. But unfortunately, that success was always limited to Adam's productions. As soon as any of those actors later on in life, when they tried to break free of Adam's environment he created, the sparks just weren't there in those roles they played. So anybody that started working with Adam at a young age and met him when they were young, they never really branched off. None of this was intentional, but it happened. Alright, so this begs me to ask the question, how the hell did Adam do this? What's the method to the dude's madness? How did he take a ragtag group of dudes and absolutely dominate Hollywood?
To prove to Dad that I'm not a fool.
And for so many years too, like a long freaking time. Adam had big plans. We all have big plans, but Adam, he wanted his friends to believe in his plans outright.
Told my friends I was going to be huge.
Yeah.
And I think that had something to do with not wanting to quit ever. That I was like, I already told those guys they're going to be huge. I've got to get this fucking done. I can't go home.
He didn't want to hear criticisms. He didn't want to hear what ifs. The only thing Adam cared about was speaking and believing his ideas straight into existence from himself and his friends. And he didn't want to hear anything other than that fact. Adam even said he remembers himself being fairly delusional because he didn't want to entertain any of the criticisms that anybody had that was directed towards him. Not one man. I don't know, I feel like a lot of successful people do that. In 1984, Adam was attending the Tisch School of Arts. While attending the Tisch School of Arts, he was able to find the first person that he was able to recruit into his team. This guy's name was Tim Herlihy. Tim, like every other friend Adam met at a young age, didn't do much work outside of working with Adam.
Honestly and sincerely, would like to bring in your mail. He's a good, hard-working boy. Let him bring in your mail.
In fact, Tim's only recorded work is for Adam. I mean, the guy said he never intended on this being his career, and if Adam was to come up to me and offer me all of this and all I have to do, I'd be like, yeah, sure, six-figure income. Just keep him coming, though. Keep him coming. Otherwise, I'm gonna go do my passion. That makes complete sense to me. Don't get me wrong, though. I think Tim was content working with Adam. I just don't think Tim saw a reason to go any further. I mean, six-figure income. In the 90s, man. He wrote here that when he met Adam, he thought he was extremely outgoing. His mouth going a mile a minute and funny and all over the place. God, I hate it when people use multiple ends. Anyways, it was kind of a sight to behold. Allegedly. Because I wasn't there, dude. I'm just assuming. This all started when Tim started to write jokes for Adam to practice in stand-up comedy. He would try these jokes on people on the street, and then if they bombed, he wouldn't do anything. But if they did well, he would take them into the clubs. The two most popular comedy clubs that Adam had his sights on were Pips and Catching a Rising Star. Things were going really well for Adam, but he did listen to his critics and decided to bring in another friend to his team. This friend was named Frank Karachi. Apparently Frank lived down the hall at the time when they met, so Adam liked him a lot and he brought him into the crew because he thought he would mesh really well with his future plans. Adam himself said some really nice things about Karachi. He said, "Karachi was the cool guy. He was great. At NYU, he always frosted his hair, always had a mohawk. Girls loved him. He went to Dancetera a lot. He went to a lot of cool clubs. He was the lord of the 80s. He brought me into punk. He listened to new wave and punk." Unlike Tim, who Adam kind of just gave this career to, Frank really enjoyed this and actually got Adam to star in a bunch of indie films he made. Oh yeah, they did this in college. I feel like there's a big difference nowadays. Nowadays, kids, they're gonna go to college and be like, I want to be famous and make a TikTok. Back then, they worked for it. They actually got into it, had aspirations for a further career, knew that they were just a small fish and didn't think that they were going to get the whole world given to them because they released 100 TikToks of them doing a popular dance. I'm off topic. Sorry. But if you still really can't remember who Frank is, let me refresh your mind.
Bobby, it's me, your daddy, Roberto.
Daddy?
You know, I seen you on the ESPN when they was talking about you being drafted by the NFL.
See, you know who he is. At least I hope you do. If you don't, go watch some Adam Sandler movies. Adam chose well. Adam sure knows how to pick them because Tim and Frank went on to write and produce some of the best films that I ever saw as a kid. Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, The Waterboy, Wedding Singer, Mr. Deeds, Pixels, Bedtime Story. Okay, that last one I wasn't the biggest fan of, but I'm sure the kids were. Tim also helped out on my personal favorites, Big Daddy and Grown Ups 2. Man, I think I'm gonna watch Grown Ups 2 tonight now. Also, do you remember this weird kids show on Big Daddy? That's our boy Tim, dude! With all the Dan Schneider stuff, I am 99% sure this isn't forced. He agreed to it. He agreed to it, okay? Definitely. Tim and Frank provided Adam with the criticism necessary to revise his sets on all the clubs. This pretty much allowed Adam to narrow down his persona and transform him into that laid-back dude that we could all shoot the shit with, drink a beer with, have a campfire with. Yeah, Adam wanted to be relatable, and the dude achieved that. Famous comedy clubs like the Mothership in Austin and the Laugh Factory in Vegas are pretty much places that an actor like Adam Sandler would have to perform at in order to get any sort of exposure in the comedy industry. And, of course, the Comedy Strip in NYC. Adam had his sights on the Comedy Strip, and he finally got a shot, and he massively impressed the booking agent. They said he was only 19 years old, and I signed him up immediately. He had all clean stuff. Very quirky, very cute. I thought, this guy is really good. The next day, I got on a phone call, and Adam thanking me for being so kind. For the longest time, he would call me regularly, almost every day. So, if you ask me, Adam had a way with girls in the late 90s and early 2000s. Not his way. A way. I think if my memory isn't mistaken, he was viewed as a heartthrob for a lot of girls in the late 90s. Who really knows though? I wasn't listening to girls. I was too busy restoring trailers and trying to flip items on buy and sell. I was a resourceful little fucker and I didn't like to sit and watch TV. Anyways, like I said in the beginning, Adam truly didn't like his comedy. Adam's tactics to get people to believe in him worked extremely well, to the point where check out this Howard Stern episode where pretty much everybody but Adam believes in him.
I don't think I'm not as sharp as some of the other guys that we grew up with. Like, and I wasn't as prepared when things went off.
In other words, you didn't memorize your stuff?
I tried to, but I
would
would choke. I ate it a lot. I didn't do well a lot of times, so I would get angry up there.
Adam did what Adam did best though, and he looked outwards to try to find another friend that could add a perfect comedy relief to the feel of his movies. Meet Alan Covert. Adam thought Alan was the perfect comedy relief, as well as to give Adam pointers behind the scenes. While Adam was attending a course in NYE, Alan shared a class with him and they meshed instantly. Don't remember Alan?
In a hunting accident, his memory only lasts 10 seconds.
I was in an accident? That's terrible.
Don't worry, you'll totally get over it in about 3 seconds.
Get over it? I mean, what happened? Did I get shot in the brain?
Hi, I'm Tom.
Now you remember Alan. I love that scene so much. I love that movie so much, dude. It's hilarious. Adam really had a way of picking his cast, and all of the actors he chose perfectly fit the role for everything Adam decided they needed to play. Adam's test putting Alan on the big screen for side roles was extremely successful, so Adam decided to give Alan a shot. Adam gave him a role starring as one of the main characters in Grandma's Boy. Such a good movie. I think this movie might be one of my personal favorites of all time. It brought forward the best attributes of all the characters that played it and was packed full of laughs from the beginning to the end. This movie wasn't popular in the theaters at all, but I don't know if it was meant to be, but it indeed sold like hotcakes off the shelves. I'm pretty sure we all have a copy of Grandma's Boy, one way or another. It makes sense though. It's the perfect movie to have on when you want to have your friends come over and have some not so innocent laughs. It looked like Alan was set to be a reoccurring character in the rest of Adam's movies, but weirdly, he only got a couple more roles, with the last role he played being Strange Wilderness. Personally, I would have loved to see Alan star in more movies, but I think Alan was onto something. By having these characters play roles, such good roles in specific movies, it gives people a reason to go back and revive these movies and watch them so long and later on in life. It gives the movies extreme replayability. And let's be honest, Adam played such a good character on Grandma's Boy that Adam probably didn't want to be outshone. Not saying Adam did anything volatile, but probably didn't want to be outshone. Regardless though, if Adam stifled Alan's career, his bank account ends with 6 zeros, so the dude can't be mad. His account probably wouldn't have ended with that many zeros if he did his dream career, so. David Spade entered Adam's life when he was randomly watching Adam perform at the Improv one night. He said Adam's style was so different that they became friends instantly.
Adam is a very generous guy, as we've heard tonight. We all know this. He has hired his whole family tree to work for him. The call sheet looks like Ancestry.com. I first saw Adam at the Improv. Was it the Improv?
Yeah.
Yeah? I don't know. They wrote this. At the Improv on a random night, and his style was so different, as you know, and it caught my attention right away. I laughed the whole time, and I just want to be friends with him, so we wound up being friends.
David saw potential in Adam right from the beginning, but David wasn't shy to his own successes. Starring in many big comedy shows, David wasn't really in need of Adam's main character roles in any of his shows in order to continue to become more famous. Do you remember this character?
Very good, Kronk. Here, get the snack.
Got it.
Yeah, did you know that David Spade voiced Cusco? I had no idea of this as a kid, and finding this out now breathes new life into this classic, for me, at least. This is when Adam offered David his first main character role in one of his movies, playing the main character in Joe Dirt. Oh god, man, Joe Dirt.
You don't got no lady fingers, buzz buttles, snicker bombs, church burners, finger blasters, gut busters, zippity doo-dahs, or crap flappers?
No, I don't.
You're gonna stand there, owning a fireworks stand, and tell me you don't have no whistling bungholes? No spleen splitters, whisker biscuits, honky lighters, hoosker do's, hoosker don'ts, cherry bombs, nips and dazers, with or without the scooter stick.
I love and hate that movie. If you had watched what happened to Rob Schneider, I don't think you would have taken this role. You'll know what I mean in a bit. This was basically the peak of David's career. He progressively did more and more boring roles, and none of them really ever hit with the audience, especially like they did before. Releasing movies like these that didn't do too well in the box office. They're definitely not a hit in my household either. But while Adam was performing at the comedy club, he became good friends with Chris Rock. Chris was definitely ahead of Adam in the comedy scene when Adam entered it, but Chris was super impressed by Adam. Chris made it clear though that he only saw Adam for what Adam saw in himself. There ain't no fooling Chris. Chris definitely wanted to work with Adam, but never for Adam. Chris made it clear that he definitely wanted to pave his own path of success in the comedy industry.
I met Sandler at the comic strip. Here's the thing about the comic strip. I started before Sandler. And it takes about 2 years to get a weekend spot. You know? So I used to stack chairs and mop floors and I'd do my little spots and at very late. And it took forever. It took me 2 years to get a weekend spot at the comic strip. 1 year, I'm gone for about 10 days. Eddie Murphy saw me at the club, flew me to LA. I'm gone for 2 weeks, right? I come back on a Saturday night, and who do I see on stage? Adam Sandler. I'd never seen him before in my life. And we're like kind of the same age, and he's on a weekend, and I'm like, who the f is this guy? That he gets a weekend spot so fast, right? So I was supposed to hate him.
Through Chris, though, Adam got a role on The Cosby Show. Nah, don't judge. It was a short, small role, and Adam didn't know the stuff we know now about Bill Cosby. It was the highest rated TV show at the time. Pretty much anybody in their right mind would have taken that opportunity. I would have for sure. This led Adam to nail a role in MTV's first non-music program, MTV Remote Control. Rob Schneider says he first found out about Chris Rock and Adam Sandler when he was looking at a magazine and then eventually saw them live during a set.
He was on the cover of this small little comedy magazine called Comedy USA.
Okay.
It was like a little throwaway, but it was in color, which is like, whoa, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's a
Because most of the
throwback.
stuff was made like in black and white. This is like in the 80s. And then he was on the cover with Chris Rock, and they're both a little younger than me. And I knew about them, and they knew about me, because I was on Letterman earlier than them, and they hadn't quite gone on there yet. But I knew that those were the two hot comics in New York, that there was a buzz about them.
From there on, it looks like Rob kind of took Adam under his wing in a sense while still working for Adam in his movies, kind of teaching Adam what to do in it. This is because Rob had a flourishing career before Adam ever came into his life, and so Rob was alright just doing side quests by playing small side roles in Adam's movies. Didn't really need a main character role. Dude was set in life. Dude was talented and wanted to go forward with his own endeavors. Rob played some of the most memorable characters for Adam in his movies, some that are just permanently ingrained in my head, living rent-free forever. The critics didn't like him. But it finally happened. In spite of all the negative critics, Rob finally got greenlighted for his first main character role. Adam didn't care though. He realized that sometimes the critics just don't reflect the viewer's opinion. These critics didn't watch the show through the eyes of a regular viewer, but Adam did. Adam knew what the viewers were looking for. Deuce Bigalow Male Gigolo was released in 1999. It was an absolute smash hit in box office. This solidified Rob in Adam's mind as a great choice for future acting. But Adam has this bad habit of fitting a character to an actor so well that they can't be portrayed as a different character ever again. Not seriously, not in the way they were when Adam put him in a role. And that seemed to happen because every single movie that Rob was put in a lead role in Adam's movies all seemed to get less and less attention cascading down. I'm not super surprised though, because all this is showing a super clear pattern of how things go when you start working for Adam. I know this sounds like a negative Adam video, but it's not. I'm just super fascinated by how Adam's friends always seem to have the kind of same result. Something happened that I don't think anybody's seen coming though. Some bad blood. During the cast of Grown Ups 2, Rob's phone didn't ring, and everybody on the outside would just be like, he filled his cast, he just didn't need you for this one. But Rob had some different things to say about it. They're doing Grown Ups 2 without me. Mistake. They should have paid me a lot of monies. Well, truthfully, I wasn't sure if I'd have my TV series, so it was an availability thing. But at the end of the day, they should have said, what money does Rob need? This was a turn in direction nobody saw Rob taking. I mean, dude, Adam gave you your career. You shouldn't forget that. And how about letting him do the same thing for other people? Why is it all about your career, Rob? And not the movie Big Stan, Rob. That wasn't you trying. Give me a break, Rob. Rob. Thankfully though, Rob had some humble soup and patched things over with Adam. Smart man. It's funny because Adam kind of had a habit of using his friends as stepping stones to get to the top. Was it intentional? Probably not. Adam's charm and likability made sure that he always got the long end of the stick when it came to opportunities and deals. It seems like Adam, whenever he gave one of his friends an opportunity, it kind of solidified them as one of his extras. But whenever they let him on an opportunity, he would always kind of outshine them and overpower their success. Dude took the spotlight and didn't even realize it. Unintentionally though, of course. We love Adam here. Don't hate me, Adam. Rob Schneider and Chris Rock were both cast to be writers in the SNL skit show, and they convinced them to bring Adam on as well, even though they initially didn't want him.
Lucky, but him and Spade got there first, and they were writing and feature players, and they paved the way.
SNL mega catapulted Adam's career and landed him new shows, like some that you might have seen: The Clown, Coneheads, maybe Airheads. The Clown and Coneheads are ones I've seen on Netflix, but I've never decided to actually sit down and watch myself, to be honest. Do you remember Crazy Eyes?
Crazy Eyes. What? Oh, yeah. Hey, Nate. How you doing, pal? I got your pizza for you just the way you like it.
Oh, yes. French fries and Oreos. You know me all too well, Deeds.
Yeah, Adam met this man on the set of Airheads, and they went on to make some wildly successful movies together. But how did Steve get on Airheads? Steve Buscemi always had aspirations of becoming an actor when he was a kid.
Yes, after high school, I started taking acting classes, and but it was a very slow progression. And I'm not sure actually when it was that I decided that this is what I want to do for a living, but it was pretty young. And once I decided, I knew that I was in.
He got his first film gig in 1985, starring in a film called The Way It Is, which led him to get other supporting roles and things afterwards. Steve was then cast in the groundbreaking role of Mr. Pink in Quentin Tarantino's movie Reservoir Dogs. This earned him an Independent Spirit Award and solidified his reputation in the film industry.
Thank you so much. I think I will take John's advice, and I'll try and get a tan.
Steve starred in many roles after that, such as Rising Sun, Desperado, and of course Airheads, which brings us in line with the time he met Adam. This is where Steve pretty much played his most fitting roles in his career, but ironically enough, this is where his career plateaued as he kind of fell prey to the Adam bubble. I don't know what it is about Adam and the friends that work for him, but their talent doesn't go to die, but it kind of all just goes to morph into the greater Adamverse bubble. Anyways, you remember him as Crazy Eyes, like I said, also the homeless guy in Big Daddy, and yeah, dude, his actual name on paper was Homeless Guy.
Well, this was during the so-called disco era, but for me it was more the doing mushrooms.
And other than that, I don't really remember him doing any other groundbreaking roles. I actually don't remember him playing any roles at all after that, which kind of solidifies the fact that he just kind of fell prey to the trend of people peeking on Adam's films. I know. If you've watched a lot of Adam Sandler, then you realize that I've overlooked one of the best characters of them all. Can you guess who it is?
I've been saving this weed for a special occasion.
What kind is this?
This one's called the Brown Bomber, because when you smoke it, you get so stoned you shit your pants.
I'm not. Yeah, now you remember him. He was a super wacky character, and he was placed in scenes to make other characters seem more likable. He was likable, like too likable, and kind of made the viewers cringe, which Adam kind of placed there intentionally because all the viewers got a sigh of relief when the main characters got back on screen. Peter Dante played football and lacrosse in college before meeting Adam while playing a game of basketball. The two meshed immediately, and Adam had Peter co-star and write in Grandma's Boy being the stoner relief that was much needed in the show. Needless to say, he played the part super well. Peter helped Adam make so many good movies, and things were going well. That is, until Peter was checking into a hotel while they were filming Grown Ups 2, and I guess the hotel clerk didn't realize that he was who he was, so he decided to call the person the N slur and the F slur, and Adam wanted to diss himself after that. We didn't see him showing up in any movies in Adam Sandler universe whatsoever after that, like nothing. Adam was a smart fella.
You're a smart fella, Dad.
And you're a fart smeller, Meg.
Adam saw bad PR from a mile away and got as far away as possible. Plus, he probably got offended by what he said himself too. It's safe to say Dante's off the guest list, and it serves him right in my opinion. You can't just say anything like that. You shouldn't. You can't say it out of anger. Humans carry intention behind their words in even the most intensive situations, so there is zero excuses for Dante. Funny enough, the character he's most known for playing in Grandma's Boy is the character he became in real life. He basically completely gave up acting and pursued more chill activities. That's not all though. On September 29th, 2020, Dante was arrested in Los Angeles on Wednesday at 9:40 a.m. with a felony charge after an altercation with his neighbor. He was booked in Los Angeles County Jail and was released that night after posting a $50,000 bond. According to the reports, Dante was bothered by loud noises from construction work being done at a neighbor's residence and allegedly threatened to kill his neighbor and harm his wife and kids. Needless to say that if he wouldn't have done that stupid shit, then Adam would have given him more roles and he would have had a better career. But, you know, it's kind of funny to see someone get out of the vicious cycle of people that are acting under Adam. None of this was intentional. Adam didn't intend on any of his friends going down the paths they did. There is never an expectation for his friends to stay, nor was there an expectation for his friends to leave. Everybody was just trying to help Adam grow, and in return, he was just trying to help his friends out in any way he could and give them all the opportunities he was able to. But what happens when one of the most beloved comedians of all time absolutely hates you and your group? Adam and his friends had to suffer this, as Bill Murray was one of the main SNL characters and wildly disagreed with how Adam and his friends performed their skits. Now, we all know of the nice Bill Murray. Did you know that that dude had a nasty side? I didn't. Well, I kinda did. I could kind of assume from some of the characters he's played. A real non-supportive, if you don't have it, don't try type mentality he kinda had. Just listen to what Rob had to say.
Super nice to fans. He wasn't very nice to us. Absolutely hated us. Seething. He hated Chris Farley with a passion. And he hated Sandler. Really hated Sandler.
The weird thing is, though, is that we all have great memories of Adam Sandler and the SNL skits, but they were the worst ratings that SNL had ever received. Maybe old Bill Murray was on to something. SNL themselves even threatened to fire their longtime producer because he let so many people come in and ruin the show. But because Adam Lee always seemingly had success amongst the viewers, he never really cared about the opinions of the critics at that point. The timing of Adam getting fired, though, was almost too perfect. Did Adam see this coming? At the time, if he stepped back and took a look at his career, he would have noticed a pattern that every time he got funny, he eventually got unfunny and would have to go out and find something new to bring back that funniness. So did he see the pattern and act accordingly?
Yeah, I was fired. I was fired. NBC said that I was done. Then I made over $4 billion at the box office. So I guess you could say I won.
We'll never know, but we can pretty much deduce from the cockiness of Adam's tone in the last clip that he was taking a keen ear to those critics and really taking what they had to say to heart. The critics were catching the problem before Adam did, and so Adam listened to the critics and got to the problem before the viewers noticed. Whether Adam knew or Adam didn't know, his timing was impeccable because just 2 months before he got fired from SNL, Adam released his entire production company called Happy Madison, and in its first release, it made $16 million, which in today's equivalency is over $30 million. 32.7 million to be exact with inflation. Holy shit, dude, that's massive for Adam. Whoa. Billy Madison Productions was the point in which Adam finally was able to let his belt loose and let his belly drop. It was his opportunity to finally execute things exactly how he wanted. And at this point, to me, this all looks like it was intentional from square one for Adam to end up like this. Who knows, but that's what I think. Adam himself has stated that he indeed feels that the aha moment for him was when he actually did release Happy Madison Productions. It gave him and his friends complete freedom and control over the movies they were making. Adam is a person who is a living testament that you don't need to change who you are to grow as a person. You just need to add to areas in your life that you can see are lacking. Adam took on his friends in more of a caring act because he wanted them all to prosper and earn six-figure incomes and feed their families without stressing. Adam can't control his friends, he can only give them opportunities, and that pretty much sums up the reason why they pretty much one by one fell off when they tried to get their own solo acts going on. They just didn't have the same drive for the spotlight that Adam did. In my opinion, there's very few people in this world that would help out their friends like Adam did. So all the people around Adam should probably be pretty thankful that Adam was the one that was in control of this crazy roller coaster of a career they all had. I mean, hey, let's be honest. Things can look stressful from the outside, but in Adam's bubble, it was purely friends shooting the shit, having fun, making movies. Adam definitely has proven that he has the ability to take on more serious roles that get more attention and better ratings. But what does that do for his friends' careers? That shows a lot about Adam and his career and the way he goes about it. It shows a lot about him as a person because he's willing to formulate an entire different plan of success that incorporates his friends so that they can all go up and flourish together. I think Adam's the type of person that we should all strive to take on after in one way or another. Definitely not a believer in idolizing any humans, but in Adam's case, I think he's earned the respect from the general public. And hey, he made $4 billion with his friends having fun. Can you blame him? Thanks for watching.